Pre-release for Duskmourn is this Friday, and I don't want none of you walking in blind. So I got 6 packs here. We're going to do a mock pre-release right now. I'm going to show you what I go through when I'm building my pre-release deck. We're going to put something together. I'm going to explain what I'm thinking as I go through this, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty when it comes to building a pre-release kit and what I do to try and craft a winning pre-release. First things first, when we open our packs, we just want to put them all in color piles. That is going to be the most effective way to be able to go through and find out what we have, synergies, duplicates, stuff like that. That's really important when it comes to building a sealed deck, because consistency is key in this situation. So let's make it as consistent as possible by selecting the cards that we have the most of. So starting out, what I like to do is just break up the multicolored cards into piles to see where I have the most overlap. That being said, when we're looking at this, we have 2 Simic cards, 2 Gruul cards, and a Selesnya card. Green looks like a really good option to start with, just off of those, because we have 3 color pairing options that we can work with. Okay, the first thing I like to look for when I'm looking at green is mana dorks, mana fixing, grabbing basics. That is key here, especially if we have 2 color directions that we can go to, or maybe even 3. Being able to grab those lands and fix the basics is going to be a game changer. Plus, it just allows you to ramp, right? Beating out your opponents in terms of mana is game changer type levels here. So right off the rip, we have a Head Shredder. When it attacks, you mill 2 cards and you take lands from your graveyard, put them on the battlefield tapped. That is huge. And it's only 4 mana with Crew 1 for a 5/5. So this is also a bomb. So this is definitely a huge highlight that we're going to pay attention to. Say its name, you can grab a creature card or a land and put it into your hand and mill 3 cards. So we'll probably just utilize the first ability. We're not going to go looking for that guy. I don't think we pulled one, so I don't think it would matter too much. Let's face down cards. Spine Centipede, there we go. Delirium 2. So fill our graveyard with Head Shredder. We can grab a basic with Spine Seeker and get Delirium and make him even bigger. Got a room here, Moldering Gym. Manifest Dread, and then put 3 +1/+1 counters on that creature. So we can make a 5/5 for 6. And we have 3, or we can pay 3 and go tutor for a basic as well. And put it onto the battlefield. That's pretty huge. Manifest Dread. Ooh, another Head Shredder and another Spine. And a Mana Dork in the back. Okay, this is big. This is huge. That's honestly a big highlight right there. And it's honestly not too expensive. Head Shredder, Spine Centipede, good creatures that allow us to tutor. We have an enchantment tutor and a sorcery tutor with a mana dork. Perfect. Green, solid. That's what we'd like to see. Other than that, all I really saw was Delirium, exiling cards, stuff like that, and then Manifest Dread, which seems pretty consistent throughout the entire set. Nothing major. These are our highlights right now. Okay. That being said, let's put these in a pile, set them off to the side. Boom. Now we can either look at red or blue. Personally, I am a Gruul player at heart. I'm not a huge blue player. So I'm going to look at red first. Just because, for that reason. It's my preferred play style. So I'd much rather focus on the style that I know and understand. Cool. Rampaging Soul Rager. I guess we're just really looking for, okay, we got some more Delirium. So we have stuff in our graveyards, we can utilize it. Deals 2 damage, we're going to sacrifice a creature. We have Eerie. Cool. We have 2 Rampaging Soul Raiders for 3. Gets +3/+0 as long as 2 or more unlocked doors exist. That might be a little hard to utilize, but they're duplicates, so we'll set them off to the side. Piggy Bank. Leyline of Residence. Instant and sorcery spells. Get a copy of them. That's a maybe. I'm not seeing too many instances or sorceries, in all honesty. So, might not be too huge. We have Bedhead Beastie here. That could be a bomb, big damage, 5/6. Not only that is mountain cycling, so access to more mana, right? You can cycle, go search for a mountain. Then we just have some straight up damage and then artifacts, stuff like that. We have one delirium card, which is nice. We have nothing crazy. We have another room that deals some damage, stuff like that. Cool. Not too crazy. I guess the next thing we're gonna look at is blue. That's the next up on the list. Because we have two Simic over here, which, by the way, if you read the card, at the beginning of your end step, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Unless a permanent entered the battlefield face down under your control this turn. Or you turned a permanent card face up this turn. So if we're rolling with Manifest Dread a lot, we're going to be getting cards at the end of our turn really quickly. So that's also pretty beneficial. So we're going to look at green. I'm going to go from there. Eerie, whenever an enchantment you control enters, you fully unlock a room. You can have this guy attack so it didn't have Defender. Cool. Silent Hull Creeper. Meh. Enters tapped. Eerie. Meat Locker. Keybearer. Twist Reality. Okay, we have a big 5/5 creature. Has flying, which is huge. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, Manifest Dread. Okay. The problem with that is you have to exile 6 cards from your graveyard as an additional cost to cast. But if we're rolling green with that mill head shredder guy, we're going to be putting stuff into our graveyard, which will be nice. So this guy might be pretty viable. So control, Manifest Dread at a sorcery speed. That's nice. Return up to one target creature, non-land permanent, or target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Manifest Dread for 3. Counter spell. Enters tapped creature. Opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Okay. So we have a flash stun counter for 2. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Draw a card. And Eerie. Flash. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, draw a card. So we have more card draw there. That's not bad. I'm not a huge fan of red right now, I'm not going to lie. See what we have in black. We're going to go through and let's see if we see any duplicates, like always. We have 2 sporogenic infections, which is a nice amount of control and removal. Okay. And we also have a cracked skull, which allows us to look at the player's hand and choose a non-land card from it and discard that card. And when an enchanted creature is dealt damage, destroy it. So a lot of creature control. A cycle, come back wrong. So we can take something from our opponent. Surveil 1. Whenever it attacks, that's nice. Give it to violence, so a little ramp. Eerie. Some damage. Okay. Final Vengeance. Sacrifice a creature enchantment. Exile target creature. Okay. So we don't see a lot of creatures in this. That's kind of the downside there. However, we have a decent amount of creatures in other colors. We have Surveil 1 triggered to put more stuff into the bin. I'm not feeling huge on red. I don't think I have enough support in white to think about it, but we can go through it really quickly and see if that changes our mind. Exorcism for control, Unwanted Remake, Destroy, that's nice. Let's sell like Twins, Manifest Dread, Destroy target creature. No, I'm not feeling that either. So really right now, we have a pretty solid green pair and we have a pretty solid green set and we have a pretty solid blue set. The real question is, Do we want to go red or do we want to go black? I'm kind of leaning towards red. It's not as solid as, well, no, there's a lot of destruction in black. See, this is the stuff that you have to think about, right? There's not, we have a lot of removal in black with enchantment support for our Eries and stuff like that. So, honestly, I might lean towards black just for, we have these in the back here, right? For Eerie, and whenever an enchantment you control enters and stuff like that, we get a bonus. We get card draw over here, and we get +1/+1 over, or +2/+0, and gains lifelink until the end of turn. So that's pretty big. Plus, we have a few rooms in green and blue. I think we're gonna go black. Unfortunately, that gives us another creature. So I think we're gonna start the building phase of this now. Downside is we didn't hit any lands that kind of follow suit in our color pairings here, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Dog's going crazy. Let's quickly go through our colorless spells, see if there's anything of note there. Put target creature from a graveyard on the bottom of an owner's library. Put something right back in. It's a 4/4 for 6 flyer, though. Whenever Attack in the Box attacks, you may have it have a +4/+0 until end of turn. If you do, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So you could give it a nice little boost and get rid of it, and then return it with some sort of return spell. Meh. Keys to the House. Another basic search. Not too bad. You may look at face-down creatures your opponents control any time. That's actually pretty big, so we might chuck that in there. There's a lot of Manifest Dread cards in the set. And knowledge is key here, so knowing what they have and it could flip up at any time could be a game changer. So these are the 2 cards of note, or 3 cards of note. Paramorphic Expanse is a maybe, just for more mana fixing. I don't think we'll need it. We do have a pretty solid, color basis, but we have extra options in colorless as well. Okay. The ideal ratio right now is you get 16 creatures. And then from there, 8 non-creature spells. So we have a decent basis for creatures, and we have removal and enchantment and stuff like that. So let's grab 16 creatures. We have 2 here, and then 3 here. So we have 13 other slots that we need to fill. First things first, let's grab our vehicle guys. Right? Head Shredder, these are going to be our bombs and a pretty big piece of our entire puzzle. 5/5s for 4, with crew 1 at 5/5 is pretty nice. And the mill effects for delirium and stuff like that, huge. Spinestalker Centipede, that's another 4, or another 2. It's pretty pivotal. Spinestalker Centipede is also pretty pivotal, so you can go and find your basics. We'll put Overgrown Zealot in for mana fixing and being a mana dork. So all in all, right there, that takes us up to 3, 7. We got 8 cards. Okay? Which means we need to fill 8 more. Wow, that was really difficult for some reason. So let's just grab all the creatures that we have access to in all colors. All right? Just put them into a pile and go from there. And we'll switch them down from there. Okay. The main thing we want to focus on is Delirium. Probably Manifest Dread. Well, actually, no. Yes, Delirium and Manifest Dread. That's going to be our key focuses right now. So we want to get things into the graveyard and manifest things off the top, which means giving us access to the top with Surveil and stuff like that will be pretty huge. So we have Watchdog here, which is a 3/1. That's nice. Anything else that would give us advantage on the top? Cool, we have another guy that'll give us Surveil 1 when they attack. And that is it, it looks like. Cool. So then we can run those. We have six more. Cryptid Inspector here gets 1 +1 +1 whenever we manifest dread. So we'll do that. That'll be cool. Manifest Dread card. I think I'm on. I might steer away from the enchantments. Now that I think about it, right? I'm starting to think I steer away from Eerie, which gives us access to card draw in a way. So we could still run the highlights of Eerie. This is +1 +1 until end of turn. This will give us a free unlock, and it's a flyer. That's pretty good. So we're up to what, 4, 8, 10, 13. That goes card draw, 14. This will give us a boost, 16. When this dies, manifest dread. Okay. 16. Boom. I don't think I'm going to run this silent Hall Creeper. It's cool, it can't be blocked. It deals combat to a player. You have to pick one that hasn't been chosen yet. There's three options. 3/3, draw a card, make a copy of target creature you control. Actually, that's pretty solid. I think I'm going to drop this 5/4 actually and go for that. That'll be more advantageous for us. Death Touch. We can keep that off to the side. Okay, I think this is our 16 creatures right here. 4, 8, 10, 16. Yep. This will be our 16 creatures. So now we need 8 non creature spells. We're pretty heavy in green. We're pretty much sprinkling black and blue, in essence. However, we do want removal. So these three here will be nice. And they're enchantments, which will trigger Eerie if we have it onto the battlefield. And then we just have some straight up pumps and destroy. This is a steel card. Come back wrong. That's something we should keep note of. Pretty strong, so we'll probably hold on to that. Target creature can't be blocked, so we'll get a big guy in. We can get Head Shredder in, which would be nice. Counter spell, taking us up to 6. That's a Manifest Dread card, loses all abilities. Actually, I might drop Don't Make a Sound and run Twisted Reality. It's a counter spell and Manifest Dread, which plays into both of our styles, right? So we can utilize it to counter a target spell, and we can also use it to Manifest Dread off the top to fill some of the stuff. And we also have a room. When you unlock this room, tap target creature, tap up to one target creature, and put 2 stun counters on it for 3 mana. And when you unlock this room, draw 3 cards, then discard a card. That's a maybe. Keep note of that. And then we gotta look at green. We are up to 6. That's a destroy spell. Oh, this is an insect that we missed. It gives death touch, which could be nice. Indestructible death touch until end of turn. This is a manifest dread card and a return card. This is also a manifest dread card. Exile target artifact or enchantment, so we get room removal. This is our search. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we need this search. If we're running the deck and we need it, we can always just swap it in from our sideboard. So I'll put that honestly off to the side for now. We have 2 more spots. I'm gonna say its name for turn two possibilities of grabbing a land that we might need. So everything else is turn three. Hmm. This is where the decisions have to be made, right? We can do 3 mana. You return a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. I think we're gonna do that. Graveyard return might be a little handy. So for right now, I think those are the ones that I'll roll with. If in the future I need it, I can always change some spells out. Things to note is going to be Given to Violence. That's going to be in the sideboard, +2/+2, and gives lifelink. So if we're dealing with something pretty fast and heavy, we can pump something and, yeah, pump it up, give us just lifelink. More removal, and just a straight exile card. The problem with this I have is we don't have too many sacrificial permanents to give up, right? We don't want to sacrifice our enchantments that we're running because we want them to destroy stuff. We want to be able to return them as well with this Manifest Dread, return permanent card from your graveyard to your hand as well. So this one is kind of a catch-22 for us. We have a counter spell to take note, and we have a bump thing so we can return a non-land permanent to your owner's hand. So if we're running into a lot of enchantments and stuff like that that we need to get rid of, we can run this. And we also have enchantment removal over here, which will be nice, especially because we have those creature enchantments that are going to be a problem, because once they die, they return to the battlefield as enchantments. So having this just to get rid of it right away would be beneficial, but I'm going to keep this in my sideboard, and if it becomes a problem, then we react. Excuse me. On top of that, we have Horde Vigor to go along with our Given to Violence here as a 2 mana instant, as a Death Toss Indestructible option. And then we just have various, stuff from there. Those are things to note, right? This will be our primary sideboard. These 4 cards right here for our options for removal. Actually, make that 5. 6. Ooh, I'm just counteracting myself everywhere, aren't I? Yeah, so these 6 will be our primary sideboards to swap into. This will be an option, but kind of on the side. This is the deck that we built. Straight up and honest right now. Okay. Our non-used cards are over here in a pile. This is going to be our primary sideboard right here, where we're going to use if we're in the need of it, right? Game 2, there's a lot of enchantments, or there's things that we need to get rid of directly, fast, at instant speed, and just make changes from there. These will be our primary runners. We're going to have Manifest Dread triggers, search, counters, and then we'll have destruction spells on the back end, pretty much all in black. Then we'll run our basic creatures. We'll have 2 Manifest Dread guys right here at the top, some Skullcap Nuisances, Mana Dorks. The Head Shredders are going to be our big guys, along with Spine Seeker, from getting stuff into the graveyard, making them 3/3s, which will be pretty nice. We have some Surveil triggers to get things manipulating off the top, and then we just have our, synergies going on over here, and our, payoffs, stuff like that. All in all, pretty solid deck. Now, mana is the question. What would I do? We are very heavy in black and green. So I would probably run. We need to run 16 lands from 24. I would probably do. That's hard. 6 green. Okay, so we need to run 16 lands for the deck. I'd probably run 6 green, 6 black, and 4 blue. Would be the initial number that I roll with. The only problem with that is Twist of Reality requires 2 blue pips. So I honestly might drop a black for a blue, so 6/5/5 in a way to try and make up for that. But really, we're going to be relying on our Mana Dorks and our Head Shredders to really grab basics, and our Spine Seekers to grab basics to fix us. So that's what we're really going to need. We're going to rely on these 5 here and our card draw from the Bookworm to get things out. And if it worse comes to worse, we can always swap things in for more searchability. We have another enchantment that we can run. So yeah, all in all, that's the deck that I would run. It's pretty solid. I hope this was detailed enough for you guys to understand and not too rambly and everything to make it boring. But yeah, this is the pre-release kit that I would put together, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the stream. If you want to pick up any of the cards you just saw Aaron open, you can stop by Superscript Comics and Games, located in Lakewood, Ohio, or check us out online at superscriptohio.com. Take care.